Alright guys, I'm going to share with you another Glycine Combat sub. This one was sent in by Chris. Big thanks to Chris for doing so. It seems like I went years without ever seeing one, and then all of a sudden I have a couple of back-to-back ones. Now this one's going to be the more traditional type one, and actually, as far as I know, this is like when they got taken over by Invicta. I think Chris is saying there's some ways to tell. I don't know all the detail. You guys can fill me in the comments down below, but this one should have the ETA 2824 movement in it, and I gotta say that would be the one I would prefer. I think all the new ones are going to have the SW movements in them, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. I'm just biased towards the ETA for whatever reason, but it's still, even back the older ones like this one, the crown, I mean, this is the most stout heavy-duty crown assembly I've ever seen. That crown and stem, I mean, there's zero play in it, and it is just way larger diameter than any of the other ones a lot of the other watches. I mean, there's a few out there that are really robust like that too, but this one's definitely one of the value proposition type watches that have that robust crown system. So very good action on that. It has the sign crown. Measurements, you're looking at a 42 millimeter watch, 50 mil lug to lug. Look at how thin that case is and how it curves down. That's just insane good. So, it's only 10, just over 10 millimeter thick, like 10.3. Flat sapphire crystal, that adds to the thinness. But I mean, I can't get over that. Like, that is just killer. 22 millimeter lug width. This one comes on a factory Glycine rubber type strap, and it smells great. It smells like vanilla. I'm a big fan of the vanilla scent, and when I discovered it on some of these straps, every time I get one in now, it makes me smile. It's nice. You might smell your wrist once in a while. So pretty simple, thin hardware here at the end, but the strap is actually pretty heavy duty. So this is a 60 click bezel. I'm so used to saying 120 click. This is actually a 60 click bezel. Excellent bezel action. I mean, there's like a little bit of play, but typically there's even more play than that on a 60 click bezel, guys. So this one's actually very snappy, very easy to use. There's a small rider tab up here just above the pip. But other than that, you got a pretty standard affair here. The color on this, you have a very legible white framed hand stack, including the seconds hand, and everything is filled with C1 lume, and then it's printed on the dial. So you have your 24-hour chapter in there, printed on a kind of a pale orange, as well as the sub 20 Atmos on the bottom, and then you have the combat automatic in white. Everything else is pretty much in white. So excellent looking watch, other than the dust on there. There you go. You guys can take a drink now if you're playing that drinking game. Pretty simple case back as well, and that's totally fine. These I just looked it up on Noman. They sell for $520 new, so I think that's actually a pretty reasonable deal. Even the current ones with the SWs in them. That's like this model right here. This is the gl0087. So there's like a ton of different colorways. I'm not even sure the total on them. So, and these could be strap monsters, 22 mil, but here it is on my 7 1/4 wrist. Because it's so thin, it's just going to work on so many wrist size. So it's thin, and then the curvature of those lugs, the way they curve over, like it's not like a Steinhardt where it just protrudes flat out on your wrist. So this one's going to work really good on just about any wrist size. And there's different bracelet options. I know there's a fitted bracelet for it. You can probably source independently, or you can wear 2-piece straps or a really nice NATO or something like that. You're going to be able to pull it off with just about any strap. This one's it's pretty thick. The strap on it's pretty thick, so it's comfortable, but it wouldn't necessarily be my first pick. I mean, I get why it's paired with this watch, because it is good pairing. It's just I would tend to rather have something a little more flexible. This is actually pretty I mean, it's pretty flexible, but because of the thickness of it, I mean, you're limited how much flex you can get right off the gate with that. But I do like that they didn't do a metal keeper or anything. You have two floating matching rubber keepers, so that's actually really nice, and they're going to stay pretty well positioned when you get it all sorted. So let me give you a loom shot. There's no really need to go much longer than this on the video. Now the loom shot on this is not going to be amazing. C1 is just not that amazing of a loom. You can see the pip is, oh, my battery died? No. The pip is actually loomed a different color. So, but let me shut these studio lights off, and you'll get a look at that. So you can see I supercharged it with that light. So the pip, the hour, minute, second hand are definitely a little more potent. There was more real estate there. Well, not necessarily more real estate. They just didn't lay the printing on the dial as heavy as they probably could have. So that would be maybe my disappointment with this watch is the loom. You know, when you have a dive watch, we're so used to that crazy, crazy, excellent loom on so many dive watches. I'm not sure if Glycine is going to improve that. Hopefully, there's really no reason why they shouldn't. So if someone over there in Invicta, Glycine, whatever, if they're listening to the fan base out there, guys, throw some C3X1 on these things and put out some new colorways. Boom, you're going to sell a ton more. You're welcome. If you want to send me some royalties, I'm okay with that. You can. You know, I'm an idea guy. All right, guys, big thanks to Chris for lending this in, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.